biggest thing for me that prevents people bringing forward ideas is that they think nothing's going to happen. Because I think, usually, for most people, improving where they work and where they live is a natural thing. Most of them have ideas. You sit any group of employees down, you're going to get a lot of ideas very quickly. I don't think that's really the difficulty. The difficulty is that if they've come forward with an idea, and many of them have, and for one reason or another nothing's happened, then they stop coming forward with their ideas. And that seems to me to be fairly natural. Or even worse, if they have come forward with an idea and it's had a negative consequence of some kind, their idea was taken up and their friends were all fired or something like this, they're going to stop coming forward with ideas, right?
So I've seen a movement, you just kind of made me think about a move towards co-creation. So it instills collaborative approaches, which I think help to inspire and ignite. And I think it kind of breaks down the walls of traditional idea harnessing because, you typically, our typical leadership, Ted, when you were describing imagining a different place or, a different place to work or how to work and an environment that would inspire, I think it's also kind of breaking down the traditional walls of leadership that say there's an idea hierarchy, it must come from only this level. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we're still somewhat kind of almost strangled by the traditional.
Yeah, how do you flatten the organization?
Well, at the leadership level and invite it so that it isn't a barrier.
So Salesforce ties things to compensation, which is, again, a structural change. But I'll give you a perfect example. We've got an ideas exchange. Anybody that uses our software says, hey, I want you to change this. And it goes on to the idea exchange. Everybody sees it as public. And we look for our customers to go in and say, hey, this is how you make it better. This is what I would do. And it's a whole conversation that takes place. At the end of the day, every time someone votes on it, it gets a point. At the the highest level of our organization, they are compensated based on how many points they retire from the from the ideas exchange. So in other words, if they retire 1,000 points, they will meet their targets for the year, or 10,000, whatever the numbers are. And from that moment on, it completely shifted. We then went forward-facing. We need to listen to our customers, and we tied it back to compensation so that there was an actual measurable metric that we can manage and rate people on to say, are you meeting or exceeding these targets?
You can generalize that by just saying performance management as a whole, right? So you're the product of your org chart, you're the product of how you measure how people's success, right? So the flatter the org chart, the more innovative you're going to be. But when it comes to performance management in IT, we tend to measure people how often the blinking lights are in the data center, or red, green, yellow projects, or on time, on budget those initiatives are, and that's what they're going to focus on. They're going to focus on the implementation of that project. That's the actual outcome that it's supposed to serve. So if you start to measure IT in terms of percentage of paper that's going through that process versus the successful implementation of that project, the more likely that they're going to want to implement more innovative behaviors.